Let's start the show with talking about Anubhav Sinha's Anek that releases in theatres. Well, watching Anek was a baffling experience. I was constantly wondering what would I say about the film. It's so well researched, so well meaning, with such a powerful intention, so well shot, so well mounted, and at the same time, too layered, too complex for an average Indian to understand. Sometimes verbose and often difficult to fathom because the subject and the treatment is so passionately driven that it's hardly an entertainer. It's not your average popcorn movie. It's cinema which mixes documentary style with cinematic luxury.
मैं इसी इंडिया की सुरक्षा के लिए काम करता हूँ, नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया में।
Ayushmann Khurrana is Aman, with alias Joshua, living somewhere in Northeast, no state specifically. Co-runs a coffee shop, has a make-believe affair with an aspiring boxing champion. He's an undercover operative of the Indian government, planted in the region to broker peace talks with the largest separatist group, helmed by Tiger Sangha. Also dealing with another separatist group called Johnson, which has a different ideology.
हमको चिंकी बुलाते हैं. We did not want India here.
Anek has strong atmospherics. Shot by Ivan Mulligan, who also shot Anubhav's previous films, there is no jingoism here, which are the lazy crutches many directors resort to. Anek also does not take sides. There is no enemy here. Anek, which means diversity, takes us back and forth from Delhi to beautiful locales of Northeast, a land as beautiful and as scarred and bloodied as Kashmir. There are innocent faces turning into militants, little children allegedly being brutalized by the army. The film is bold enough to state the history as it is and start a debate on the after effects of militancy and the result of the presence of Indian armed forces on the psyche of the inhabitants. It's a political thriller that is ready to openly speak the hushed words. In a scene, a character says, more than maintaining peace, it's easier to maintain a war. What is peace? Ultimately, it comes in the garb of control, says Ayushmann, that is Aman. Who is North Indian? Who is South Indian? Does Hindi decide if we are North Indians? If yes, then what about Kashmiris?
कैसे डिसाइड होता है सर? नॉर्थ इंडियन नहीं, साउथ इंडियन नहीं, ईस्ट इंडियन नहीं, वेस्ट इंडियन नहीं, सिर्फ इंडियन कैसे होता है आदमी?
Director Anubhav Sinha, along with writers Seema Agarwal and Yash Keswani, take us to narrow bylanes of genuine socio-political turmoil that the young boys are going through or have gone through.
Violence is not a solution. Surrender कर दो.
There is so much detail and such authentic portrayal that I was wondering and even suggested to the director and the team that it should be shown to the administrative officers who have actually dealt with the situation firsthand and have been posted there, as this film is not just an average song and dance and romance and entertaining film. It's like an international award-winning documentary.
यहाँ से खुद निकलना नहीं आता, वहाँ जाता नहीं मैं.
What works against the movie is that it's heavy, verbose, and sometimes too many facts and words and names are packed into a tiny scene. If I can take the liberty of mentioning films like Roja and Bombay, they had similar themes but with an engaging, easy to understand parallel human story. A big applause though for Anubhav Sinha and Ayushmann Khurrana to authentically portray the world of Northeast after Article 15, Thappad and Mulk. It takes courage to make such cinema indeed that genuinely takes us into the skin of a long-standing political problem. Abrar Butt from Kashmir is a sweet-sounding senior bureaucrat who happens to be a Kashmiri but is ready to go to any extent to control the Northeast politically by partnering and controlling the rebel groups. Every performance in the film is worth applauding. There is also a satire on how an army officer named Major Veer in the most Ghadar and Uri style is ready to attack the enemy with guns, saying, "Desh ka anaj khane wale aur desh se gaddari karne walon ko sabak sikhana zaruri hai." Anek, with the protagonist interestingly named as Aman, that Ayushmann plays, wants to do it in a more peaceful way, in a strategic way. Anek's editing, though, could have been 20 minutes sharper and shorter. Its writing could have been a bit simpler, and I wanted to see Northeast not just as a troubled area, but also the place that has great food, great clothes, lovely music. The human drama is a bit missing in Anek, which leads us to get a heavy dose of facts against an equally enjoyable experience. But Anek is a film that must be watched for its detailing and earnest intentions.
कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि ये पीस किसी को चाहिए ही नहीं. जीतेगा कौन?
हिंदुस्तान।